I don't know why people wear suits with backpacks.
Of mice and men. I wear a suit with a backpack.
It's so bad. Are you 9? Like you in private school? In Japan?
It's convenient.
Get your little suit and your little fucking backpack.
What's up, guys, and welcome to this week's McInnes Marketing Minute. It is not the gentleman's marketing minute, as we
It rained.
As we do not have the rooftop along with our Scotch glasses, I'm afraid.
We're in the map room, as you can see.
You can see a third of the map of Vancouver here. Yeah, so today we are talking about how relevant the headlines are that you've all been reading, hearing.
Who and what to listen to.
Yeah, so those headlines being, it's an all-time low in 10 years. June is the lowest sales amount since June 2000. All of those similar types of headlines that we're all familiar with right now.
There was something back to like 81 or something too, wasn't there?
I think it was May. No, I think it was April. It was like the worst since 1986. Yeah. So there's a lot of information going out there, guys, right now. There's a lot of information which is relevant, which is relevant, irrelevant, and a lot of it is media fueled as well. And I mean, they all serve their purpose, but in reality, the lowest amounts in 10 years, the lowest amounts in 20 years, lowest amounts in 5 years, whatever it may be, means absolutely nothing. It means absolutely nothing other than giving you a very passive, high-level view on where the market is at.
I think there's different levels of looking at the market. If you want to enter or exit the market, following the media is completely irrelevant because it's not going to give you any tangible information. Obviously, hiring your agent and finding out what the specific numbers are, the comps, as we've discussed a million times, what the actual process to value is. But any of these headlines, things like that, trying to use that to get a price, it's a total waste of time.
Well, I mean, the reality is you find a home that you like, you put in a low ball offer on it, and the justification, which you say is it's the lowest sales in 10 years, they're going to tell you to walk right out the door because that's not real justification. As we've mentioned so many times over the years, sold comparables are for the majority what make up market value these days. And if you're going by the sold comparables, you're much likely going to be more of a success. If you're just going in there saying I want to offer this and it's lower because it's been the lowest sales in 10 years, you again, refer to our video, savvy buyer versus silly buyer, and it's going to explain it. It gives you nothing tangible. That headline doesn't show you that the average, or the home price index for Vancouver Metro Vancouver is 998,700 for a home. It doesn't tell you what the average days on market is. It doesn't tell you whether that new listing that came out is a great deal that you should jump on or whether you should avoid it with a 10-foot barge pole.
What pole?
Barge pole. It's a British saying.
So here it's just 10-foot pole, no barge.
We say 10-foot barge pole.
Like a barge, on the water?
Yeah, like on see if you're
Doesn't make
barging.
sense. I don't know what that is. But like we said, even to the Metro Vancouver numbers, like we said last week as well, it too, for the most part, is completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
Because if you own a one-bedroom in Mount Pleasant, the Metro Vancouver average numbers or entry level or high for a one-bedroom is totally not in perspective of what you have. Mm-hmm. So even those numbers, it all comes down to what you're trying to educate yourself with.
Yeah.
And if you want to educate yourself with headlines, those ones are flashy and will get people talking. But if you actually want to know specifics about the market that you're in or the market that you want to enter, you want to really make sure that you don't want to blend those two types of, we'll call them stats, or pockets of information.
Well, it's nothing tangible. So, I mean, from personal experience, we have a listing right now that we're lucky that we have an accepted offer on, touch wood. But we've had 3 offers on this place, and we've had multiple calls reaching out asking if we're open to a backup offer. But you read the headline 10-year low, you would never think that would happen in a million years. So it's nothing tangible. So the only purpose it serves is for somebody who wants to stay up to date with real estate very passively, is not actively in the industry, so is not actively looking to buy or sell, just wants to hear here and there what's going on. Beyond that, it doesn't serve any purpose at all, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, and I think the information, if you actually want to keep up with the market, pick an agent that you know and trust as a specialist in your area. And most agents will do monthly updates, for example, and keep up to that. And that'll show you numbers, that'll show you tangibility of what's going on in your area. That's much more tangible, much more valuable information to fill your head with and your comments with than these headlines that are of no perspective to anything.
Well, you want to list your 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom detached home. You bring a realtor in, they show you the sold comparables. Sold comparables are 1.5 million. Your home is going to be worth 1.5 million, whether it's a 10-year low, whether it's a 10-year high. Just because it hits a 10-year low does not mean that you now have to it's now mandatory for you to take off another 10% of your price. It doesn't do anything at all other than essentially inspire fear. So once we always say, if you're actively listed at what the comparables say you should be listed at, whether the market's high or low, you're going to be successful. That's the reality of it.
It is, and it's just very important because there's so much information out there. We just want to make sure that you're picking the proper information to listen to, because headlines like that will deceive the majority of people who think they can just read the newspaper and know what's going on in the real estate market in general. And that is a very general statement, so that's correct. But when it comes down to it, are places selling? Yes. Are places selling for competitive prices for the most part? Are there plenty of buyers out there putting offers in? Definitely. Are there multiple offers taking place? Yes, there are. Are the people trying to put backups in? Yes, there are. So if you're talking to someone on the ground or getting information from a source that's actually on the ground, you'll see that the market is a lot more active than I think a lot of people think it is, or a lot of people want to believe it is, because they want to assume that they're saving money by the day the longer they wait, and when they read the headlines that tells you that, but that's not the case when it comes to actually putting money into the market or pulling money out of the market.
Yeah, and I mean, this conversation really is probably going to annoy some people when they read this. I think the term was sneak oil or snake oil or lipstick.
I think he meant to say lipstick on a pig, that was one.
Lipstick on a pig,
but
something like that, yeah.
Snake oil, I think, is what was
meant.
So
to be said. Regardless, it's going to annoy some people, but
these are comments we've received just as a reference point.
But the reality is, there's a lot of buyers out there right now who go by these sort of headlines as their judgment. They maybe see a place that they really like. They think they have all the time in the world. They think that it's going to come down even cheaper. The place sells, and then they're left frustrated because they're now comparing everything that they see to that property. And just like you said, there is property which is still selling, product is still moving. It's not like it's a standstill and 95% of the market are begging for anything to come through. So it's our job to make sure that we give you the right kind of information to take away in order to make the best decision for you at the right period that you're in, versus giving you the wrong information which can portray a completely different view. So Doug, hopefully that answered your question. So thank you for reaching out on what information is relevant and not. And we will join you next week, where hopefully we'll be back to Scotch in hand, Gentleman's Marketing Minute on the roof
with some sun.
Till next week, guys.